Greetings, I'm Paul Friedman, founder of the Marriage Foundation. The topic that we're going to address is, will my marriage improve? Hi, I'm Paul Friedman, founder of the Marriage Foundation. This topic has a lot of subtext, and we're going to get into that. Will my marriage improve is not really a standalone. It typically goes with, I'm really going crazy here. My husband is mistreating me, or my wife is driving me nuts, or the kids are going in different directions and we don't agree with each other about how to raise our kids. So there's all sorts of subtext. But the core question is, will my marriage improve? And I am going to give you the benefit of having been working with people for over 25 years, just in the realm of saving marriages and improving marriages. Prior to what I did in this realm, I was a divorce mediator until 2001. And the transition didn't come smoothly. It came abruptly because a couple that I was working with really didn't want to get a divorce. People came to me because their couples counselors or their individual counselors sent them to me so that they could have a peaceful settlement agreement without going before a judge. I did all of that for them. And I worked with a whiteboard. I'm very practical. And the couple that I was working with felt everything is all about communication. We don't know how to communicate. Paul, you're really good at communication. Please help us save our marriage. And I agreed. And then after I agreed, I said, can you give me a few months to really figure out what I'm doing here? At the time, I'm going to be very honest with you, I was in favor of divorce. I believed in it. I felt that when a couple reached a point that their marriage was not improving, they were trapped in a cycle, a downward spiral, and things were only going to get more and more worse. Is that a right way to say that? So, or I could say worser. So I started to look into marriage. Naturally, the first place I went was to my friends who did marriage counseling. And I asked them, because I'm not a psychologist, and I asked them, how should I help this couple? And they said, sit with them, find out what's at the heart of what's going wrong, and help them resolve it. That sounds useless, honestly, because in my mind, I saw that there was going to be a lot of conflict, that it was a scenario set up for conflict, and they wanted to heal their marriage. So what I did, instead of taking that advice, was I asked myself, why do people get married in the first place? And when I asked that question, it was an epiphany, because I never asked that question of myself. At that time, I was divorced after 20 years of marriage. And yet I never knew why I got married in the first place. Putting aside falling in love and all that, there had to be a reason. So I started asking people, because the reason wasn't at hand. And if you ask yourself, why did I want to get married at all? You're probably going to say, well, I fell in love. And it's true. But why get married? And so I asked countless people, why did you get married in the first place? Even standing in line at Starbucks, I'd ask people, strangers, why did you get married? Well, it finally came to my mind. Why? Because no one had a good answer. And the reason is, and this will blow your mind, and in fact, when I worked with couples afterwards, it was part of my routine. I would start with this because it's an important place to start, because you're asking, will my marriage improve? Well, what the heck does that mean if you don't have a why you got married in the first place? And I don't mean to interrupt, but please subscribe and like this video. It really helps the algorithm with YouTube. So I would ask the people who I was working with, the couple, and I'd say, okay. And at that time, I got $300 a session. I said, I'm not going to charge you if your answer to this question is better than mine. And I'll let you be the judge of it. And I asked people, I said, why did you get married in the first place? And I put their answers on the whiteboard. And the answers were good. I want a companion till the end of my life. I don't want to be lonely. I want to have children. All good answers, but none of them were universal. And then I said, okay, these are all good answers, but how about my answer? My answer is, I felt I would be happier. Got married to be happy. In 8 years, only one couple, and both of them had the answer. And they were a wonderful couple. They didn't like what they were. They were both prison guards at the state prison. But they were the only ones who got it. And if you think about it, that is why we get married. We want to be happy. So the question that I'm going to put to you now is, what are you doing presently? Because we live in a cause and effect world. What are you doing that is going to improve your marriage? You see, people forget very important components. Now, I go through all of this in the books I've written in and the courses that I have. Online courses, they're great. But I go through all this. We have two amazing attributes that we don't think of. One is we have free will, volition. We could do whatever we choose. And two, we live in a cause and effect world. So if you pile one brick on top of another brick, on top of another brick, pretty soon you're going to have a wall. So if you piled the bricks one upon another of those things that create happiness in your marriage, and you don't fall into the trap of, well, I don't even know if she loves me anymore. I don't know if he loves me anymore. We've got all these problems. How do we resolve them? And you don't go into all of those things because they're a distraction, quite frankly. But you concentrate on doing things that will improve your marriage. How do you know they'll improve your marriage? Because you also have wisdom. You know the difference between doing something that is beneficial and non-beneficial. And so you utilize your, let's call it common sense. You utilize your free will. You utilize your ability to control your mouth, your tongue, and also to hear things differently. You are in control of all those things. You see? So the question is really self-evident. If you do those things which are designed specifically to improve your marriage will improve. To what degree, you may ask? Well, I could tell you from my own experience. And, the books are great and we get good reviews. You could take a look at those on Amazon. Or you could go to the website and see what we have. We have the online courses, and you could go to the review section and see what people have to say. Because the approach to marriage that I utilize is an inside out. Change ourselves, and there's an old expression, you change yourself, you'll change thousands. And you're not interested in thousands. You're only interested in infusing your marriage with loving, positive things. So you sweeten your marriage, it will improve. Compare that to how you're behaving in your marriage now. It's very different. And again, our approach here is very different than Western psychology. Not only do I not believe in fixing this and fixing that, because quite frankly, there's always another thing to fix right around the corner. You have to set that aside and focus on improving your marriage. And you can do it. You can do it. So I really appreciate your having endured a lecture from me. And it's very nice, honestly, we get comments now from people, and some quite young. I know they're young because they'll say things like, hey, this SH is really good. Well, at my age, we don't use that kind of vernacular. So I know young people, because truth transcends age, doesn't it? So I'm Paul Friedman. I'm founder of the Marriage Foundation. I thank you for watching this video. Again, leave a like, subscribe. God bless you. And go to our website and take care.